We're live for another episode of the Bitcoin Breakdown. I got how you guys all doing? Chris, Barden, Jason.
Hey boys.
Doing well.
Boys.
Yeah, not too much to look at for the market, right? I mean, we're just still kind of sitting in this range.
Unless you're buying long bonds right now.
Yeah.
Trying to buy a few.
Bitcoin sitting at about 6,500, still just sitting at that level. Everything else is kind of following it.
Yeah, pretty tight range. Kind of brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Not too much news today. Just a few little things we can maybe hit on. I thought it was kind of interesting. Let me share this. But this was kind of interesting. Coinbase will achieve an $8 billion valuation. So just a few dollars there following a hedge fund investment.
Such an incredible amount.
Wow. What was, do you guys remember do you guys remember what Sequoia offered Binance in the beginning? It was something crazy low, like 30 million.
I don't remember.
They didn't want to hit that bid? Shocking.
Yeah.
I'd like to create a business and pretty much give it away.
Right. And then that kid did great. And then like literally 6 months later, they were chasing him for 400 million. He said no again, I think. And last I saw was 3. So Coinbase is asking for double that.
So last summer, Coinbase was valued at close to 1.5 billion. Valuation came right before the spike in the consumer interest in cryptocurrency at the end of 2017. Wow. So that spike jumped them up $6 billion.
And the market's off, The market's terrible this year.
Tiger Global invested in Coinbase? I got to call my boy at Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger Global.
He didn't tell me anything about that.
Is that surprising to see that firm take such a big...
Well, I mean, they've been a powerhouse for, a long time. And there's a couple, there's so many hedge funds they call Tiger Cubs that are spin-outs of the main Tiger Global. But I love, to see Tiger Global and, investing that kind of money in Coinbase, $500 million. God, that's a cannonball. I'd love to see that. Again, the more I read about, big name brand, old school institutional players getting involved in the space, the better I feel about the whole space in general. And it also, it also argues to kind of one of the things we're talking about before we went live. And some of these podcasts, that I've been listening to, talking about centralization and decentralization. But one of the leading things that's largely going to bring a lot of people into the space is if you can have it, somewhat mirror the way traditional finance has gone over time. It works. It's a fully functioning, business model. To recreate it just for the sake of recreation won't garner as much interest, I think, as if you can bring it back down to the way that investors, be it institutional or retail in size, are used to looking at things. They want to, they don't want to relearn something. They want to be able to plug and play. But anyway, that I didn't see that article, and that's shocking to me.
Yeah,
I like it.
By the way, Sequoia supposedly offered Binance 80 million.
80? The first bid?
They're valued at, the latest one that I can find was like 3 billion, but that was back in like March or April. So I'm sure that if they had a valuation done, it'd be even higher now.
Well, what was their last quarterly release? I got to look at that. I was trying to explain to somebody here the other day. Guy's a sugar trader and he's long ether and stuff. He was kind of wondering what other coins. I was telling him about Binance and trying to explain the burn to him. Do you guys remember that amount every quarter? Well, the last quarter was? I thought it was 30 million.
Yeah, I think that their profits. I don't know if it was last quarter or Q1, but it's something like excess of 200 million in Q1 of 2018. 200 million profit.
Yeah, and then they burn like 30, I think.
Yeah.
So they're burning basically twice what they were being offered in their first.
Yeah.
Their first
It's just absurd.
Possible IPO. What do you guys think? Yes, you guys think that's their next step? There is taking it public.
Might as well. It's a good way to exit.
What do you think, Brendan? What do you see there?
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that would garner a lot of opinions within a space of people who are, especially from like the hardcore, decentralized type people, and bringing a big crypto market to the traditional finance world. I'd be interested to see what people's opinions were on it.
Well, I think Coinbase is dead to everyone that cares about decentralization.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I just think bringing that, a big company like that to Wall Street for a proper.
Gotcha. No, I know what you mean.
Would they feel like they're selling out? But at the end of the day, do they need to go? Do they need to go to an IPO and be regulated in a manner that traditional companies are? I personally would like to see that happen, because they're going to have to disclose financials, and I think people could get a better look under the hood of how the machine actually operates. So if they wanted to do for it, I'd be pro, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that probably wouldn't.
So just to chime in on this, I have extreme doubts that an IPO would ever happen.
From who? You guys talking about Coinbase or Binance again?
I don't think Binance will ever.
No, because they're staying away from the U.S.
Where would Malta now
do that? You would have to do it in Hong Kong, or you have to do it here, and they don't want anything to do with the U.S. Seems like.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead, Chris.
No, that's all I was talking about was Binance. Binance will, I think, never touch an IPO just because I don't know, CZ from Binance did a podcast the other day, and he was talking about just they are essentially allergic to anything in the U.S. Like, he won't even come and talk. He won't even come and talk at any conferences in the U.S. He won't step foot here just because he doesn't want anything to do with it, because technically kind of what they're doing skirts the law here in the U.S.
And he's got a lot of U.S.-based customers.
Yeah.
Skims it. I mean, they raised the entire exchange was raised on a security offering. I mean, a Binance token, I mean, a buyback and burn. I mean, I don't know who they're trying to kid. I'm not a lawyer, but it seems like, I mean, come on. That's just obvious way to sit in that gray area.
No lawyer.
Makes sense why. I mean, they couldn't even do an IPO if they wanted to, just because of that initial raise. That's how they funded their project, was that raise that wasn't registered.
Yep. Yeah.
Which y'all's opinion would y'all like to see?
I think
IPO from Coinbase. Would y'all like to see?
I would be fine.
I think Bitmain IPO has enlightened everyone about how they're operating, and I think it shows a lot, because everyone regarded them as they knew their shit, and they knew they had everything together. They knew what they were doing. They were a powerhouse. Everything incredibly efficient, incredibly well managed. And they see this IPO that's rushed before Q3 earnings have to be released, and which they probably got killed on. They see how much illiquid assets they have, like $1 billion worth, and they see all these other mismanagement. And I think it kind of shows that. It kind of shows how they're not that powerhouse that everyone thought they were for years.
I mean, let's just say the conspiracy theory was right, and that every rig that they sell is new, that they've hooked up and run for a while, and then they resell that thing. I would love to read on something like that, because I'm sure we bought a lot of those things.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see how Coinbase. I'm sure Coinbase is much, much different, of course, but it'd still be interesting.
The thing with Binance though, they went to Malta. Malta's part of the EU. Like, the EU comes out with new ridiculous regulation all the time. I mean, I think that's a slippery slope. I wouldn't want anything to do with the EU as far as jurisdiction.
Yeah. CZ even said, they have no issue just piecing out, just going to a different country as soon as it becomes not friendly to them, which they've already done. They moved out of China. I can't remember. Did they go directly from China to Malta?
Yeah. I wonder how
fast.
They
go like China to Hong Kong,
Singapore, Malta, or was it Hong Kong?
I don't know, but they've moved, and so he said, we'll go to whatever country is friendliest to us, and we don't care about everyone else. So, yeah, it's an interesting mentality to take. I understand it on one hand, but at the same time, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't play nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a slightly older news item. This is a new news article, but I think they announced this like in September. They're planning to open a separate security token trading platform, Binance. So I think that'll be kind of interesting. I don't know how that's really going to change a lot, because it seems like a lot of their coins on there are securities, but I guess it'll allow them to trade real estate. I mean, any sort of tokenized asset, really. And seeing how much of a powerhouse Binance, the exchange is, I could imagine this is going to fuel that whole security offering and security trading and secure tokenization of anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be kind of interesting, just to kind of see how they're playing. They seem to be playing. I don't know, from where they're going and where they're kind of setting up shop in all these different countries that not many other exchanges are hitting right now. I feel like they're really trying to hit those, the untouched, that untapped areas still, of all these local countries, specifically. I don't know, maybe where they can't really move crypto freely. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting the way they're kind of going a completely separate route that something like Coinbase is going.
Yeah. Their whole mentality is let someone else do it first, so that if they get screwed, it's not them. So that's why Binance is like, we'll go to the countries that aren't gonna give us any problems. Let everyone else deal with it first, and then we might come back in. So
it's a pretty tried and true formula. A lot of big things. Like, I think we're gonna before we launch it, we're gonna do a little bit of homework and be ready to go. But we're gonna see if you can swim in the deep end first.
Yeah, let someone else take the bullet, then go out.
It's not a bad business model.
Do you guys have anything else to talk about? I kind of just want to hit on those exchanges. That valuation is just ridiculous.
That's unbelievable. Tiger, I gotta call that guy.
That's a lot. That's 500 million bite out of that. It's making a little bit of a play there, huh? Into the digital asset space. I mean, can't get much bigger than that, probably.
Big numbers.
But look at the photo of the Malta there, man. I feel like we need to make a trip to Malta.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was leaning into the screen to see who was on the beach.
I feel like we need to get a catamaran and just go check it out.
Yeah, my binoculars out.
You guys got anything else you want to hit on? See what price is doing real quick, which I don't think is much.
Was it down 50 bips last I looked at it?
Yeah, I tried to push down last night. I don't know, 8 hours ago, dropped just below, or just at 6,400, and then bounced back up this morning.
Yeah, it's down 61 bips now. Not a whole heck of a lot to do there.
No.
This is a holding pattern.
You guys want me to throw the chart up?
Sure. Yeah, let's just take a look real quick.
I was just looking at futures. Hold on one second. I'm kind of trying to. I had to take some of these long bonds off. The bond market's kind of breaking.
I think
ISM number was stupid.
I think it's kind of funny when you take a look at Bitcoin, the price. I don't know why, but I mean, I guess I kind of know why. But it seems like everywhere on every community of traders, Bitcoin is under 6,500 now. Everyone's calling a $3,000 target. Bitcoin breaks, 6,500. Oh, it's holding here. That we're going to 10 now. It seems to be it's going up and down, and the entire sentiment shifts up and down.
Yeah, and it's you want to get on the highway, but you still got to go down 5 back roads and make a couple right turns before you even get on the on-ramp. We got to get through 6,800. You got to get through 7,400.
What I'd like to read a little bit more of is people who are saying it's going to 3,000 or 10,000. Back it with some actual data that we can chew on. Everybody just makes these outlandish claims of where they think it's going, but why don't you explain why?
Yeah, and when, and what's the timing? And when? How are you gonna? So you're gonna just load up with everything you got right here, this price right here? Are you gonna add to it? There's so much more to talk about. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, so we're just stuck here right in the middle again, below 6,800, 6,200, 6,000 is the bottom of the intermediate term range. We're right in the middle. The only thing I was watching, if you were really wanted to do something here today, is I'd be short right here at the bands on the 30-minute, 64.88, and then maybe you cover some back down at 6,400.
And when you say short, you don't just mean your entire position, right? Let's talk.
Right.
All in.
Right. So as a trade, I mean, no, yeah, we are long-term bullish this way. So your portfolio should be long-term long. But if you want to trade, day trade, you're trying to just pull some income out of the market, you want to hedge short here, cover some back here, something like that makes sense. You got risk right above this lower high. That's how, I mean, that's the downtrend. That's the edge that I see. You got pie right above it. If you were looking for something to do, that would be my best idea.
That makes sense.
Near term.
Play this range around right now. Might as well. Because not much else is going on.
Yeah.
But that's good. We'll just kind of cut it there short. Hopefully there's more to talk about. There's a few different topics I've been kind of trying to work on, and we'll try to get some longer streams here. But until then, I guess talk to you guys later.
See you guys.
Boys.